Apparently there's an 8th continent in the southwest Pacific, a huge landmass, mostly submerged beneath the ocean, bears all the hallmarks of a continent, according to a new study published by the Geological Society of America. You may have heard of part of it, New Zealand. They call the continent Zealandia. At nearly 1.9 million square miles, it seems massive, but it's 2/3 the size of the world's current smallest continent, Australia. 94% of Zealandia is underwater, with most of the other 6% being New Zealand. But it's what's beneath the surface that counts, right? The Zealandia moniker was coined by geophysicist Bruce Leyendijk in 1995. See that famous page-turner hypothesis for Cretaceous rifting of East Gondwana caused by subducted slab capture for reference. Leyendijk argued at the time Zealandia checked 3 of the 4 boxes to be considered its own continent. But now geologists say it checks all 4 distinctive geology, a finite, defined area, crust thicker than the standard ocean floor, and elevation above the surrounding area. Zealandia apparently has it all. The experts who penned the study, aptly titled Zealandia Earth's Hidden Continent, say if Zealandia had been mapped the same way scientists map Venus or Mars, with current technology, we would have recognized it as its own continent much earlier. The scientific value of classifying Zealandia as a continent is much more than just an extra name on a list, the authors wrote. They said viewing the landmass as a continent is useful for scientists to explore the cohesion and breakup of continental crust. Unlike with other realms of science, remember how scientists kick Pluto off the planet list? There's no geological scientific body that determines new continents. So for Zealandia to become a continent, the wider scientific community would just have to all go with it. It may not be a satisfying answer for now, but in geologists' defense, it was pretty easy to assume we found all of the continents the first time around. As the authors wrote, though, Zealandia illustrates that the large and the obvious in natural science can be overlooked. Beyond the science, it could be a Puerto Rico win for a small country. The Embassy of New Zealand in Washington didn't immediately respond to Foreign Policy's request for comment on how they may be sitting on their own continent now. But others took them as well. Honestly, it's about time, quipped one Kiwi official to FP, who spoke on condition of anonymity. I had to endure years of taunting from friends that New Zealand wasn't part of a continent. Giant flying reptile the size of a plane may have been the largest and most feared predator in ancient Transylvania. After examining the enormous neck vertebrae of a creature called Hatzegopteryx, a pterosaur with a 32-foot wingspan and giant beak, researchers now believe it was a fierce carnivore that preyed on dinosaurs and other animals in Romania during the Cretaceous period. We've suspected that some giant pterosaurs were terrestrial foragers for a while now, but the idea that one could be a stocky, powerful apex predator is not something anyone would have predicted even a few years ago. Study author Dr. Mark Whitten of the University of Portsmouth told Fox News. Indeed, it wasn't that long ago that the idea of a pterosaur occupying a dominant ecological role would have been laughable. The dinosaurs died a cold, dark death. New study shows the toothless Hatzegopteryx belonged to a flying reptile group known as Starkidae. Usually reptiles in this group have very long necks, some of which can measure over 8 feet in length. The neck of Hatzegopteryx, however, is shorter and much stronger, with considerable muscle mass. This was one of the clues that helped Whitten and company author Dr. Darren Naish get a clearer understanding of the mysterious creature's behavior. We compared the structural properties of its bones to those of other giant pterosaurs using the same principles that engineers use to design buildings and vehicles, Whitten explained. Hatzegopteryx was consistently stronger in all our tests. The team also looked at the degree of scarring of muscle attachment on its bones, and found they were very well developed, much bigger than previously realized, and deduced that the strong skeleton was under the control of extensive muscle power. It had reinforced limb bones and a foot and a half wide skull. Combining these stats with what is known of Hatzecopteryx' close relatives, it soon became clear that pterosaur was unlike any other in its group, and was a serious force to be reckoned with. Feathered dinosaur tail fragment trapped in Ambromazes. Scientists theorized that one reason Hatzecopteryx was able to become the dominant predator in ancient Romania is due to the dynamic of the area itself. At the time, it had a strange island ecosystem, where few predators could compare in size to the winged reptile. The rocks shielding Hatzecopteryx fossils have been studied for hundreds of years, and to date no evidence of a large predator other than Hatzecopteryx has been found within Set. There are no giant predatory dinosaurs, no enormous crocodilians, not even a single tooth from one of these guys. According to Whitten, they have lots of other fossils from these sites, including small predators, so it stands to reason that, after generations of field work, someone would have found some evidence of these animals if they were there. This led the team to conclude that, without any other large predators, to compete with Hatzecopteryx was Romania's head honcho. One thing is for sure, Cretaceous age Transylvania was a scary place to be if you were a dinosaur or some other prehistoric critter who found itself in Hatzecopteryx crosshairs. With its huge beak, solid build and massive wingspan, this reptile was fast and lethal. These animals were huge, and their cruising speeds were impressive 40-60 mph depending on the model within Set. If in a rush, and they weren't concerned about energy consumption, they might have been pushing over 100 mph using a mix of powered and soaring flight. Transcontinental travel would have been very easy for these giants.